Hi, good evening. Welcome to the Jon Gaunt Show with you now right through till about 7 o'clock, 10 past 7. Normally about half an hour, 3/4 an hour, this show. But tonight we're asking the big question. Are you ready for it? I wasn't. I was all over the place with my computer. I am now. Here we are then. Starmer exposed, spineless, clueless, like I said last night, and is absolutely no match for Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage is going to spank him hard this week, starting on Thursday at the Runcorn by-election. Not that Starmer would know anything about it. He's not going. The first sit-in PM in 2 decades. He's too frit to go. This man has got more faces than Big Ben. But does he actually have a spine? Whilst Britain is facing absolute chaos, and it got even worse today, and it looks like we could have been affected by what happened in Spain with the power cuts because of Ed Miliband's ridiculous green policies. So whilst we face chaos and future chaos, Starmer dithers, he dodges, and he hides. Meanwhile, Nigel Farage, love him or hate him, he stands tall and clear on every major issue. You may not agree with him, but you know what Farage thinks. Britain needs a leader today like no other time, probably since the Second World War. And I'm not exaggerating. We are in a terrible position. This is the Jon Gaunt podcast. If you're watching live, that's brilliant. Don't forget to subscribe to Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube, and then you'll never miss a show. If you're watching on catch up or listening on catch up on a podcast, that's great too. Always going to be here Monday to Thursday at 6:30. Another show tomorrow, of course. Now then, let's carry on. Is Keir Starmer fit to lead? That's where I'm really focusing on today. Or is he just another weak bureaucrat dragging this great country down? Stay with me because you're going to believe what I'm saying. Let's start with facts today. Oh, by the way, good evening, Dark Angel. If you want to comment, put your comments up in the side and I'll come to them once I've finished my little diatribe, unless it's sparkling what you're saying, and then I'll be straight to you. Let's start with the facts then. This is a man who accepted freebies from Lord Ali, yet he's never, even to this day, explained why. This is the man who refused at first to return Taylor Swift tickets, $4,000 worth of tickets, but in the end did, only after he was caught out, him and the rest of his miserable cabinet, taking freebies like a lottery winner on speed. But if he had nothing to hide, why did he panic and give the tickets back? I noticed he didn't give the Arsenal executive box back. But why did he give the Taylor Swift tickets back? Odd, isn't it? And don't forget the suits that Lord Ali provided. Thousands and thousands of pounds. And then the £2,500 glasses. And then the frocks for his wife, Victoria. And the lingerie. It's all very peculiar, isn't it? If he had nothing to hide, why hasn't he just come clean about the lot of it? Why hasn't he turned around and said, look, I'm sorry, I messed up? People like that in a leader, don't they? They like it in comedians, self-deprecation. I don't know. What do you reckon? Isn't leadership about judgment? Keir Starmer, 2-tier Keir, shows no judgment. Said this to you last night. Every time his judgment is wrong. Are you with me or against me? Let's have your comments down the side, please. Feel free to join in. Feel free to donate as well if you want via YouTube. Those things that you can do. You know what you have to do. Or buy me a beer or a coffee. I must tell you, there's a great new thing with the buy me a coffee. I now send you a video back saying thank you. This poor geezer today sent me 15 quid. I sent him one back. I looked at it afterwards. I looked terrible. It's like a nightmare. Put it on your fridge. You'll soon lose weight. Anyway, let's now talk about ethics. Because I want to talk about his moral compass. Has he got one? I know he's got double standards, but has he got a moral compass? What about his ethics? He talks about values all the time, but he's refused to order a full public inquiry. And remember, only a full public inquiry can demand that people turn up and be witnesses and give evidence. He's refused to order a full public inquiry into the Muslim Pakistani rape gangs. Why? And the pressure's building and building. Eventually, he'll have to. Now, the Farage is taking advantage of this. Today, Nigel Farage has said clearly, he's made a promise. If he should be elected PM, I know that's a long way off, but if he was, he says on day one, he'd have the grooming gang full public inquiry. Now, he's playing, isn't he? Because he's not in power at the moment. However, why can't Starmer just say, it's no skin off his nose? He doesn't represent a northern constituency. And if you believe the mayor of London, there were no grooming gangs in London. So what's he got to fear? Nothing. We need to know who knew what and why they turned a blind eye to the rape of thousands of girls. Are you with me or against me? Farage is on it. And that's the difference, isn't it, with Farage and Starmer? It's the difference between, what do we call it, weak talk and real leadership. Starmer had the chance to stand with the victims. Even being cynical, think what great PR that would be for him. But he chose cowardice over courage. He chose cowardice over courage. And it's not the first time. I say this now. Britain deserves better. Do you agree with me? Let's have your opinion. Let's move on to something even more, well, kind of on the same level as the rape gangs. When it mattered most, during the Southport riots, or just before it kicked off, Sir Keir Starmer, your supreme leader, refused to release vital information about the killer. He knew who the killer was. They had him arrested within a few hours. He knew the background because MI5, MI6 would have told him. They would have probably told him, well, definitely. I know somebody who works in that kind of area. And he says, of course, we'd have told the Prime Minister and the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, you know, the one who's about as much use as a chocolate fireguard. We'd have to. That's our duty. And now you've got the czar of terrorism for the man himself, for Starmer, saying that if he had done that, it might have quelled the tension, because everybody assumed it was a Muslim and assumed it was a new arrival from the boats. Both assumptions were wrong. That doesn't condone, that doesn't justify the violence. But Starmer, if he really cared, could have said something. He could have found a kind of words. He's a solicitor, he's a barrister. He could have found, you know, a list of words which would have shut people up. Do you agree? Leadership is really about tough calls when you're really under pressure. And he was under pressure, wasn't he? I wouldn't have liked to have been in his position. Madman, killed 3 girls, wanted to kill 20-odd girls, injured 10 others, ruined their lives forever. But that's when a real leader comes to the fore. But Starmer, he crumbled. Again. He's not fit to be the leader of this magnificent country, is he? Let's talk about the wreath laying, where this all kicked off from. He went up and the second day, I think it was, and laid a wreath for the girls. Do you remember this? I was watching it live on Sky TV or GB News, one of them. And I saw him come up walking all solemn with the wreath. Well, I think Yvette Cooper was there as well. But these small moments in your life tell you the truth about a man or a woman, guys. He laid the wreath and then effectively he ran away, because I heard it in the crowd. Some of the people in the crowd shouted out, F off. you winker, and a few other things like that. They were on him straight away, probably fueled by this rumour that it was an immigrant who had committed this act. But children in their community had been slaughtered at a Taylor Swift themed disco dance class. You can understand why they were angry, and they thought he was just coming to capitalise on the situation, which, if we're being honest, he probably was, like all politicians. But when they turned nasty, he turned and ran. I'm using the term metaphorically. Straight back in to the armoured car, straight back, U-turn, away. Away. That's what your leader did. Is that leadership? And then we'll just go to another. When he was asked, so what is a woman, Sir Keir? Do you remember? I think Andrew Marr asked him. A few others asked him on LBC. Nick Farrar. I'd love to ask him this question. He couldn't give an answer. Or he did give an answer at one point, and he said, yeah, a woman can have a penis. David Lammy said they can have a cervix. Obvious, errant nonsense. And then the Supreme Court ruled and said a woman is a biological woman. Where was Sir Keir? Now, they're saying he was away on holiday. Really? What? He couldn't have interrupted his holiday with a statement? He drops out press releases for everything. Ramadan, Eid, the Jewish festivals, the Hindu festivals. Oh, and now and again he mentions Christianity, I think on Easter Day. And so he does that. He forgot about Shrove Tuesday. And he also reckoned Easter was all about celebrating the day that Jesus Christ was crucified, which is not quite right. But there we are. That's a separate issue. What he did do, he took 5 days, 5 long, hard days, and the Supreme Court ruling. He was probably getting his solicitors to check if there are any loopholes in it until he answered. And then he said, well, a woman, as the court has now decreed, is a biological woman. Well, thank you, Einstein. I could have told you that, and so could have the majority of the country. How much money have you wasted on that? All those toilets that are going to have to be changed. I'm picking on trivial things. But this is the measure of the man. Surely a leader should know his own mind, or her own mind. Mrs. Thatcher, whether you hated her or not, she knew where she stood on all the big issues. Jeremy Corbyn knew where he stood on the big issues. Keir Starmer doesn't. A real leader knows his own mind. He doesn't hide, he doesn't hesitate, and he doesn't cower, and he doesn't play to the gallery. Well, not much. He tells you it straight. You don't like it, tough shit. He's the leader. He has to make the big decisions. Britain cannot afford this level of weakness in 2025. He just can't. This country can't cope with it. He's got to go. Let's compare him now to Pat. I'm coming to your comments in a moment, and I see some of you are saying you hate Nigel because he said nasty things about Tommy Robinson. Grow up, you children. But I'll come to you in a moment. We always knew where Tony Blair stood. We didn't agree with him, but we kind of knew. And we also knew when he was spinning. But at least he spoke his own mind. He didn't have to have a quick focus group about it, did he? He had focus groups about everything else. But when he was asked a question, he answered it straight away. With Starmer, we know nothing. What about Maggie Thatcher? Did she ever hesitate? No. Boom! She was in there. We know nothing from Starmer. We don't even know really what the setup of his family is because of all this nonsense about the A-levels and going to Lord Ali's house, even though the A-levels had already been set. I don't get it. He's terrified of offending anyone. and is desperate to please everybody. Well, that's not leadership. When you're the leader, you can't expect to be popular with everyone all the time. Sorry, mate, it don't go with the territory. I tell you what it is, though. It's cowardice dressed up in a cheap suit. Oh, I better rewrite that line because there's nothing cheap about his suits. Oh, no. Oh, no. They're all paid for by Lord Ali. So anyway, to sum up my little bit, in these dangerous, turbulent times, Britain needs strength, not spinelessness, if that's a word. Nigel Farage is standing ready. That's what my photo is all about tonight. He's there, primed, ready to go. And we're having a poll tonight. If you have a look on my YouTube channel, there's a poll. Who would make the better leader? When I last looked, 78% of people said Farage. Keir Starmer, he just ducks and hides. What kind of leader do you want? Hit the subscribe button right now. Come on, subscribe and join in. And if you want real talk radio, not woke nonsense, not agenda set nonsense by a load of little producers who have barely started shaving, and that's just the girls. If you want to know what's happening in this country and have a real opinion, watch the next video in this series. It's going to be another cracker tomorrow. I've already got it planned. But I'm saying this to you now, clearly, so you understand where I stand. Britain's future is too important to leave to cowards. Too important. And I believe Keir Starmer is a coward, not a leader. Are you with me or against me? Thank you very much indeed. Let's take some of your comments. Carl1979 says, no, he isn't. No, he isn't what? Anyway, you've got to say what it's about because I might come to you later. Evening, Gaunt, you haven't been around for a few weeks, unfortunately. I hope your seedlings are still flourishing. I heard a stat today that the 10,000 that arrived here will cost us £410 million. It's disgusting. Yeah, I haven't even mentioned the small boats today. Anyone with a spine, any kind of leader would have dealt with it. What's he going to do? In fact, I wrote something on my phone about this. He's given them houses. That's going to be a real deterrent, Sir Keir. Give them all a house. Get yourself to Dover. You get a brand new set of clothes. Not off Lord Ali, but off the British taxpayer. You get a house now for 5 years, guaranteed. Even the landlords are complaining about it now. It's just ridiculous. Farage wrong-foots him every time, and that's why I say he'd be the better leader. Look at the abuse inquiry. Farage now says, I'll do it straight away. He wrong-footed him on Southport, and then all the lefties said, oh, they were the Farage riots. There were nothing of the sort. He just said we weren't being told the whole truth. Well, Nigel was correct, wasn't he? We weren't told the whole truth, that he was making rice in and that he had an Al-Qaeda manual and had gone to school 3 times with knives. 10 times with knives and had been stopped by Prevent 3 times. And they'd done nothing to stop his behaviour, which led to the death of these girls. To be a leader, you can't always be loved. Jake Morton Brown, evening, Gaunt. I wouldn't trust 2-tier Keir to judge Britain's Got Talent. He'd make it EU Got Talent. You're right. Well, it's like that anyway. It's absolute rubbish now. Hi, John. I make no apologies, says Carl Eves on YouTube, but I hate Starmer as much as I think he hates us. There is no redeeming feature about him. Is Farage the answer? Only time will tell, John, but he needs to be given the opportunity. Thank you. Jimmy Cooper on Facebook. It's not that he's a coward. He just hates the English and is doing everything in his power to destroy us. It's communism 101. Not sure I agree with that, but thank you. Starmer's no match for Farage. What a joke. Both of them are a waste of space. Now, this is somebody called Jad Oon, who starts off being sensible. I glanced at some of his comments as they were coming in, but you see what he says in a minute. Debbie Burgess says, Nigel is a legend. I'm sick of the snakes trying to destroy him. Yeah, I don't want to have, in the comments, right, if you want to go and have an argument about off a side issue, go and do it on Facebook. Go and do it on your own thread. Don't do it here because it just gets in the way of the real conversation. Nigel, the man who crapped, is not even brave enough to write the word, all over Tommy's followers, who more than likely gave the Muppet most of his votes. Well, that's absolute nonsense. Tommy Robinson hasn't got that many followers. He's got followers, but Nigel's building a very popular and populist party. Let's talk about Runcorn for a moment. Starmer's not going because he knows he's going to get his bottom metaphorically spanked. Reform are going to win. Reform, if I had any money, I'd put it all on. Reform are going to win on Thursday. And that will just be the beginning. People are fed up of the mainstream parties. Labour are going to get a kick in on Thursday as well. But where it will matter most is Starmer. He's the first Prime Minister, as I've just told you, for 2 decades not to go and lend support, and they normally do a photo opportunity giving out leaflets, to support the candidate in a by-election. In the first by-election, they should walk it. He's got a massive majority. He's only just got in power, but he's had 10 months of hell. Everything he's touched has turned to you-know-what. He's so unpopular. So he's not going because he knows the focus will be on him. So he's frit. He's scared. He's scared. Jed, I don't really care whether you once voted for reform or not. You're not adding anything to the conversation. London Star has fallen. Oh, come on, get away from cliches if you can. If you possibly can. Nigel Gordon says Trump don't mess about like Starmer. And like him or not, he does what he says. Bush. Not like Starmer. He is clueless, John, like you said last night. He hasn't got a pair. We need a leader. Dark Angel says, well, Tommy Robinson actually told people to vote for reform. Yeah, do you know what? These fights, these spats on the right, they're just ridiculous. This spat between Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe and Nigel, it's just nonsense. Got the best chance ever of getting rid of Starmer, probably for good, and Labour, and they're fighting amongst each other. I had the same. I ran this EU referendum campaign years ago. I had a big lunch with Nigel Farage, with a man who wanted to fund a situation where he'd bring all the disparate sides together. I think Nigel was still in UKIP at the time. But there were loads of groups who just wouldn't play ball. And I'll tell you what it was like. It's a cliche, this. It was exactly the same as in Monty Python's. You know, when they have the People's Front of Judea, and then they have the other one who's just a variation on that. Like the socialist workers. These people just get so caught up in the politics of it, they forget that you've actually got to get elected to make any real change. Either that or you've got to get machine, and I'm not suggesting people do this, you get AK-47s and machine guns and storm the Winter Palace. You won't get it any other way. I just don't understand why they're right. And I don't think they're far right. Actually, I don't think Tommy Robinson's far right. I've never have thought he's far right. I think he's made some silly decisions. I do. And I've told him that to his face. Unlike most of these keyboard warriors, I know him really well. I've met him loads and loads of times. Not just in interviews either. But he could not lead a populist party. He hasn't got what Nigel's got. And for sure, Starmer hasn't got it. I'm saying let's just cut out all the nonsense and get Farage in number 10. Enid Patricia Mother says he's a disgrace. I presume she's talking about Starmer. Thank you very much indeed. I'm voting for reform, and all my family and friends are all voting for reform in May. We can't wait. I think that's what's happening. I think it is going to be a massive turnout for reform. And that, you know what, I can tell you what the headlines will be. The BBC will say, oh, it's just a protest vote. It doesn't mean anything. But no, I've been here a long time. I've been observing politics and involved in it for years. There's something afoot. People are fed up, just like they were in America, of the mainstream. They want something different. They want something genuine. They want something warts and all even. Do you? Is that what you want? Do you think that this is a pivotal moment in British politics? I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to finish in a minute, so get a move on. Dormston said, I'd vote reform at the general election, and I will vote reform at the forthcoming local elections. So I did vote. So with a view of getting them into power at the next general election, I will never again vote Labour or Tory. Dormston Cook, I think you are representative of loads of people in the country at the moment. I think that's what's going to happen on Thursday. The right needs to stop infighting and come together to get Labour out, says Dark Angel. Correct. Ben and Rupert are bitter and jealous of Nigel and they want to steal his job. I don't know, Debbie, if that's true on YouTube. What I do know is it's all pathetic that you got the first chance in years, decades, and you want to mess it up. Right, I just want to go back because the focus of this conversation is really, would Farage make a better leader than Starmer? In my poll, the majority of people are saying yes, but not that many people have taken part yet. It's something we've just started. It's on my YouTube page, Jon Gaunt TV on YouTube. Go there, you'll see it, and vote, right? Whilst you're there, why don't you subscribe to the channel? It's completely free, and then you get information on when I'm doing shows, etc., etc. If you think I'm good and you enjoy what I do, would you consider funding it? You can either do that by leaving money at YouTube or signing up and becoming a member. I think it's only 99p to be a basic member. Or you can leave a gift of a £5 or whatever you want to do. Or you can follow me on buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. If you want to do it that way, that's great as well. And a thing that happened today, a new innovation, I can now send a video back saying, thank you very much. Private video between me and you. So you might like that. So if you donate anything from a £5 upwards, I'll come back to you and say, thanks a lot. Thanks for your support. Much appreciated. Whatever. All tailored, new. I'm not going to just press a button and just have a repeat video. Okay. So if you fancy that, have a go. Thursday's vote will show Labour how the public feel about them. Not just Labour. I think the Tories as well. Hi, John. Multiple parties on the right. Tories are just blue Lib Dems. It's going to split the vote again and let a very poor Labour Party back in. I don't know, Niven. I don't know. Oh, by the way, it's Niven who donated it. He got the video. You got a video, thank you, didn't you, Niven? You're the first one. Give yourself a pat on the back. So that's it. That's me exposing Starmer. I don't think he's fit to be leader. I think he's had 10 months to prove himself, and basically he's been bloody useless. In fact, he's been worse than useless. And I don't think I'm unfair to say that. And I thought long and hard, because last night I called him, whatever I called him, I can't remember, Charmless or whatever. And I wasn't going to do him again today. But then all this stuff's come out today about the boats again and the stuff about the other things. You know, the man is just a disaster. A walking... Oh, the other thing, I haven't even mentioned it today. The EU. He's joining up with the EU to go against Trump. I mean, how stupid is that? On any level. Do you want your leader to do that? I want to be with America. I think most people in this country do. I'm not happy with everything that Trump's doing. Most of it isn't my business, though, is it? He's the American president. But you can't have him as an enemy. Dormston Cook, what a man. He says, have a beer on me, Gaunty. And he's just donated £19.99 on a super sticker. I don't know how he does it. Have a look on YouTube. Thank you very much indeed. You are a top man. Niven Casey says, did you see my email response to your video? Yes, I did. I'll not repeat it on here, but I'll have a shave next time before I speak to you. But thank you very much indeed. And Jackie Ward, I want to go now. You're holding me up. Quite frankly, anyone would make a better leader than Starmer. Starmer doesn't lead. Starmer just takes. Jackie, that's very nice. I like that a lot on YouTube. I'll tell you something. I wonder whether it worked on Twitter today. We haven't had many people messaging from Twitter. Sometimes it falls through and doesn't go through on Twitter as well. I apologize for that. Even Jon Starmer is done, but until the next election, we can't do anything. God, how many times? Steve, you're a defeatist. What do you mean we can't do anything? If he gets hammered on Thursday and then gets hammered in the next by-elections, don't forget he's cancelled a load of elections for the council because he knew he was going to get absolutely slaughtered. But it's there's a by-election, 6 mayoral elections. If they were to all go to reform, that's a revolution. There will come a moment where the Labour bigwigs say, no, we can't have him as the leader anymore. They'll pick somebody else and we'll be back on that merry-go-round, but they'll be out of power. And I'm not suggesting, therefore, the Conservatives get back. I don't want them back. They're all discredited. Nigel Farage for PM, says Gaunty, at this moment in time. But I'm ready to be let down by him as well because I'm a realist. Get out of your tribalism. Right, that's me done. Thanks very much indeed for joining in. If you want to buy me a coffee, go and do it now. You can also buy a beer if you want. www.buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. Or you can do these, what are they called? These super stickers on YouTube. You don't have to give $19.99. Give a couple of quid, whatever you want to do. It all helps. No one's funding this. I've got adverts now, as you've seen. I think I made the grand total of £67 last month, right? Not a day, for the whole month. It takes time to build the numbers. What's most important is that you press the like button, because then the algorithm, and also you contribute, you get involved like this, get involved in my new chat, do my polls, all of that builds the algorithm to keep putting forward my videos for other like-minded people to watch. And as you can imagine, the kind of stuff that I'm producing now, there's many people in the establishment don't want this voice. Why do you think I'm not on mainstream radio, even though I had the best figures, even though I was one of the best talk jocks this country's ever seen? It's a little thing called capitalism and the fact that they're all in each other's pockets and I upset their comfy coterie. That's why I never get a job back there, ever. It's just the way it is. So because it's the way it is, that's a song, I've decided I'll try and do it myself, but blimey, it takes time. Oh, Steve, I've almost convinced him. He's now saying, yes, I agree. There has to be a revolt against him, but what? Who next? Can you tell me who? I can't think of anyone good enough. Well, I think Nigel Farage would be better. Yeah, because I think he'd put the country first, and I think he'd put Brits first, and I don't think he'd have asylum seekers, migrants jump in the housing queue, which is what Keir Starmer's going to do. Another 460 arrived today. It's going to be over 11,000 tomorrow since Christmas. We can't, I mean, if the weather stays warm, we're completely knackered. This can't continue. Regardless of your politics, we're in a small island. Are you with me or against me? Thanks for making it a good show again. Don't forget, you can watch it later. You can listen on the podcast. Tell all your friends about it. Gaunty is back. He's truly independent, and I'm loving it. Last night's show was one of the best reactions we've ever had. Thank you. From small acorns, great oaks will grow. I'll keep saying that. I've tried telling the bank manager that. I don't think he agrees. Anyway, see you tomorrow. All the best. If you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya.